I'm going to tell you a story. It's a short one, I promise. What I want you to do is I want you to picture it in your mind as I tell it, okay? Bob went to the beach to play fetch with his dog. That's it. I told you it was short. But here's my question for you. When you pictured it in your mind, what kind of dog did Bob have? Research says is you probably pictured one of three dogs. Either one, you pictured your dog. Two, you pictured a Labrador Retriever. Or three, you pictured a Golden Retriever. And the reality is, that kind of makes sense, right? Maybe you pictured your dog because, well, when you think dog, that's the reference point you have for dog. But the research says if you didn't picture yours, you probably pictured a Labrador Retriever or a Golden Retriever. Why? In rhetorical studies called linguistic or listening fidelity. And what listening fidelity is it's how close did I get with my message to what you pictured in your head. Now, you pictured a Golden Retriever. Bob doesn't have a Golden Retriever. No, Bob has a mixed breed. It's half wolf, half Chihuahua. It's a wolf Wawa. That's what he's got. But you didn't picture that. No, you didn't. There's a gap between what you pictured and what he's got. There's a gap between perception and between reality. What we're talking about now is the gap. You should mind the gap. Because between perception and between reality, there's a gap. There's a gap between perception and between reality. And in rhetorical studies, again, there are theorists who talk about this gap between perception and between reality. And what they say is that we all experience the gap. Because when we're born, we are born into a culture, to a series of cultural narratives or master narratives. So theorists like Kenneth Burke or theorists like Edwin Black say that when we are born into stories that precede us, these giant master narratives, that we take these cultural narratives, this rhetoric of narrative, and we then spin out our own personal stories through it. And your personal stories oftentimes are reflective of the master narratives that you are born into. Virtually every discipline talks about the gap. In one way or another, they all see it, they all perceive it, they all know it's there. Even in the hard sciences, with Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, we can know one thing without having to know another. There's a gap in what we have access to, in what we can know. Because we think we have a monopoly on truth. Because we think that we know what reality is. So how do we mine the gap to avoid that from happening? From kind of hardening into that nodal point where we have reality and we alone have it? Be absurd. Reminder to you that you are only solely seeing the world through your individual perceptions, because that's all we're ever able to do.